Yeah, my name is Jeremy Weeks. I've been going to New Bridges for roughly about 10 years now. Started out coming here with my then girlfriend, Heather Weeks. About 3 or 4 years into coming to New Bridges, we were approached by a gentleman in the church who told me that I looked like a new face in the crowd and wanted to know my name. I then told Heather that I thought it was about time for us to get involved with the small group, and so we joined up with Brett and Cass Wilcone's small group. We were there for a couple of years, I believe, and then we were approached about starting our own small group. So Heather and I branched from Brett and Cass and led our own small group for a number of years. You know, if you had asked me 10 years ago in the career that I was in, if I would be doing a video like this, if I'd be leading a small group, leading a crash team, I would have told you that you were ridiculous. You didn't know what you were talking about. I've really actually kind of enjoyed growing in my small group, growing the people. I don't think that I'm necessarily the best person to make disciples, but I believe that in order to make a disciple, you have to open up that line of communication. You have to talk with others. I think that that's something that God's been really putting into my life, been putting into my heart, just opening up and speaking with others about Him. I don't think it's something I would have done on my own, but over the years, just in growing my relationship with God, it's just become easier. Last year, it's been about a year ago now, I felt as though God was leading me in the direction of not drinking any longer. I made the decision to stop drinking for about a year. I haven't had any alcohol for about a year. During that time frame, I had a couple of friends who were razzing me a little bit, were making fun of me for a while. After that passed, I had two buddies of mine that just approached me and said, you know, I think I want to follow your direction. I think I want to follow that lead. Not necessarily that God was speaking to them in that respect, but because they saw that in me and they saw that change in my life, they wanted to go forward and do that themselves. A lot of my growth comes from kind of preparing to go out there and lead. For me, it's not so much approaching them and telling them that I think that God would want that in their lives, but it's just them seeing that in me, manifesting in me, and then wanting to follow that themselves. I can think of numerous people that would make great leaders in the church, but I think that they get too caught up in the fear of it all, in that, oh, I can't do that. Well, that's what I used to say too. The very first time I was approached about being a home group leader, I said the same thing. I can't do that. But now here it is, 6 years later, and I've been doing it, and it's been pretty fulfilling.